All right, so I started recording. I really do want to welcome you guys to the class. Dr. Mo, Maurice Dawson, but Dr. Mo, I've been with the institution since 2018. I came here from University of Missouri St. Louis, where I taught advanced cybersecurity concepts, software assurance, were the two courses I pretty much taught, and a research class dealing with cyber. Uh, the program, I'll show the center and stuff like that. But the program is really top ranked in what we're doing here at Illinois Tech. I'm hoping in this class you guys will learn quite a bit. I have a personal story, but I'll share that a little later. The quick note is that I survived death, and so the way that it was a ruptured brain aneurysm, partial lung collapse, with stroke, pneumonia, and I was in a coma. I learned how to walk and talk again. Sounds bad, but not as bad as not as bad as dying. So from that, the experience or life experience that I gained was that things are temporary. And half the battle was always showing up, right? So has anybody here looked through the actual course yet? I know I loaded it late. I don't want to scare you guys. All right, what did you think?
Ready to go.
Okay.
It is a lot of time.
Okay.
Yeah, the thing that I like about it the most is that it is focusing very much on the database side of the thing instead of the generic information system. So,
Yeah, we do have a class, and I teach it. It's called Cybersecurity Technologies, and it focuses on everything cyber, every single thing. But this course is really for people who want to go into database security, right? So you're learning more about database security. We'll do some SQL injections. We have two assignments that are focused on structured query language injections. We'll take the data from that particular item, and then we'll analyze that data, which will be pretty cool. So I will show you examples of sites that are okay to run this on. However, you could run this on any site. You just, you decide if you want to go to jail or not, which you should. It's not a fun place here. But you will be able to find vulnerabilities within databases, identify them easily, and understand how to use this tool to extract the data, and then how to take that data, put it in an analytics tool or a mining tool, and then sift through that data, find passwords, usernames, and all that good stuff. So we'll do that. But yeah, everything is focused on the database. Even the research papers that we do and the short papers, they're all dealing with database, right? So multi-level security, you'll deal with it from a database standpoint. However, you will have a final product at the end that you'll have a database on a particular virtual machine, and then we'll talk about like how you secure it, how you have controls, and there's a presentation that shows like what controls you need, the test documents, and all that good stuff, and we'll throw that stuff there. Now, this is my LinkedIn page. This is me with not dyed hair and most of it missing. But my background is I have a couple of doctorates. My first doctorate is in computer science. I did that 2009. I was 26 when I did it. My intention was never to go into academia. I did it to impress somebody. So I did the doctorate. I signed up. Halfway I was going to quit, but I owed too much to student loans. So I said I might as well finish it. I did it. And then a couple years later, I went to academia. Like I said, my plan was never to come to academia. Then later, after that horrific story I told you, I finished a second doctorate, PhD in hyperconnectivity, intricacies of national and international securities. I did it at London Metropolitan University and London, obviously. So I did that one, and then I did a postdoctorate in systems and information technology from Universidade Fernando Pessoa in Portugal. So those are three. I have 5 grad certificates, 1 in Homeland Security, 1 in project management, and 3 in cyber. And then I have a MBA. I have a master's based in cyber. And then my undergrad is like applied technology. It's like I call it a watered down engineering degree. It's like higher than like IT, not engineering. It's like in between and a little more than CS. So it's like a watered down engineering, but still supposed to be technical. Like I took instrumentation for physics for electronic instrumentation, took my Cal course and stuff like that. But it wasn't an engineering degree. I worked in industry a number of years. I was a senior system engineer for Collins Aerospace. Well, they're calling Aerospace now, but it was Rockwell Collins back then. I worked a number of rotary wing platforms, fixed wing platforms. Rotary wing would be CH-47F. It would be the M860, which is the Black Hawk, which is Black Hawk, Future Combat Systems. And then I went on to become engineering director at a company, or cybersecurity engineering director intelligence. I did that for 2 years. Then I went to Baltimore and I was the engineering manager and portfolio manager for UAV, for unmanned systems and intelligence systems. And then that's when I decided to make the shift into academia afterwards. So I went to academia, I continued to consult and work in another number of government related institutes. So I left the government only to go into universities and develop programs that were accredited by, recognized by the government to pipeline students to the government, whether that's the US government or to your respective country. So the goal would be like, look, I want to go back to, say you're from Kenya, right? I want to go back to Kenya, I want to do X, Y, and Z. I would understand some really good cybersecurity controls, how to implement stuff. You should be able to go back and do that. There's a course that I created that was from a Motorola Solution Grant that was received this year. And it's called Cybersecurity Innovation and Entrepreneurship. And it's for students like you guys to build products and services and sell it to people. So that's a course going on right now. There'll be another section next semester. And then during the summer, I will actually have internships that you'll do something with the Bronzeville community and you'll get a payment. It's like $2,200 per student. So that's what I have next year through the center. And then, so I came to Illinois Tech in 2018. And I've been here since. And I like it. I like Chicago, safer than St. Louis, but it really is. So I actually like the community. So this is my LinkedIn. I have almost 9,000 followers. I don't know how many connections. I have to click on it. Okay, almost 8,000 connections. A lot of people I have are they are recruiters. So if you want to connect, I have a couple hundred recruiters on here, and the recruiters are pretty good. So depending upon if you want to stay in Chicago, you want to go up to the DC area, you want to go over to the Middle East, the connections are, the recruiters are there. So let me know where you're trying to go, what you're trying to do. And then what I will do is I will do my best to try to facilitate that so you guys will be able to get there. All right. So everyone here has a LinkedIn, right? Do we use it? Okay. It's important. Also with LinkedIn, they have a new AI powered tool with it. So it helps basically rewrite your LinkedIn and it will make your profile more visible. So for me, believe it or not, I use it, but I don't use it, right? So if I'm on LinkedIn and you happen to ever mess me up on LinkedIn, I'm probably like cooking or watching kids or mowing the grass. I post a lot of stuff there. I'm surprised I get the following I do, but it's never consistent. It's never like 1, 2 in the morning. I probably can't sleep, or kids woken up and they snuck down and got ice cream. And I'm like, all right, let me catch them. They're going to bed. I'm like, I can't go to bed. Let me go on LinkedIn and I'll go here, read something or say something or whatever and post it. But LinkedIn, it's really good. It's really good in terms of developing connections. Like for you guys here, how many of you guys know each other? How many of you guys actually know each other? Okay, you three are besties, you. Okay, so you're all grouped together, right? So it's important to develop these connections because in 5 to 10 years, you would assume that you would elevate in your, I guess, your position in life, right? You know, you're a manager, you're a director, you may have an opportunity to say, hey, I remember you from this class we took. I remember your skills. Are you interested in this? And that's how things work, right? Because if we're in this room, I'm pretty sure a lot of people can do the same things. How many people here are bilingual? Raise your hand. Bilingual. I think you guys speak like 3 or 4 languages, right? Okay, so what about over here? What do you speak? You speak Chinese? Yeah. Okay, Mandarin or Cantonese? Okay. All right. Everybody back here speak a second language? Okay, you guys are like shy. Huh? English, Hindi, it's okay. All right, so on paper, you guys, everyone here speaks a second language, right? But that becomes a problem because there's nothing that differentiates you. It's like, all right, I speak a second language. I have a IT cybersecurity degree. You want to develop yourself in where you truly stand out from everyone else. Because really, this is your competition, right? We're all friends, but we have bills, right? So you have to think about like what helps you stand out. So LinkedIn is something that helps, and using LinkedIn to network. There's an organization here called ISSA, the Information Security Systems Association. Go to that event 3 or 4 times. They will help you find a job. A lot of the people that are there are directors, they're VPs, and managers, like the area managers. These are the people that are managing the actual line managers. They will help you get a job after you go there 3 times. You can't go there the first time like, hey, I'm so-and-so, I want a job. You're like, no, it doesn't work like that. Go there 3 or 4 times, network, and they will really work with you to help you get employed in an organization. They meet once near ORD, up in Rosemont, which is near ORD, and then they're going to be meeting, I believe, in the city as well. So I'll send out the information. Please do get involved. There's like Cyberhawks, there's some other organizations, but ISSA is really important in terms of getting employment and stuff like that. Because once you're done, you do want to get a job, especially if you're on a visa. You have so long to get a job, you use your OPT, and then during the summers, you just don't want to be hanging around in the summers. And then for those who are US citizens, we'll talk about some other opportunities, because as a US citizen, you should be having Uncle Sam, the nickname for our lovely government here, pay for your school, everything, pay back student loans, all things like that. You can either work for the government, or you can, as a civilian, or you can join the military. Hopefully you don't get sent to war anytime soon, knock on wood, or there's lots of opportunities in this country, but we will walk. It won't be in class what we do. We'll have to do it outside of class, but we'll walk through those so that everyone here can take advantage of those. All right, so we have that. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to share the center. So this is the Center for Cybersecurity and Forensic Education. So this is the center where all the cybersecurity stuff falls under. As you see here, we have a partnership with the National Security Agency and Department of Homeland Security. So what this means is that our program meets the objectives that the top agencies in the federal government and the intel community for cybersecurity. So everything you're taught, the content lines directly with these government agencies want. Additionally, we have other partnerships. We have a partnership with the North American Aerospace Defense Command, which is NORAD, the United States Strategic Command, U.S. STRATCOM, out of Offutt Air Force. I'm sorry, out of Offutt Air Force Base. I'm correct. Out of Offutt Air Force Base in Omaha, Nebraska. And then we have U.S. Cybercom. So that's the United States Cyber Command. What that means is 2 out of 11 unified combatant commands in the U.S. Military, U.S. Department of Defense, we have active partnerships with. So if you're a U.S. citizen and you need an internship, we have the ability to give you an internship and you to get a security clearance during an internship. We have that ability, right? If you didn't speak a second language and say you're a citizen, you want to learn Arabic, Mandarin, Russian, obviously these are the what they call the critical languages, the CIA, they will send you to a place where you can learn that. And Swahili counts. So Swahili is the largest spoken language in East Africa. So they will send you to a place. So you'll live with a family, you learn Swahili. Arabic, they'll send you to Jordan. So it's really good programs. Now, there's some other stuff that we have. There is going to be a study abroad. So more than likely this year, next year, it will be to Kosovo. So you don't have to be a U.S. citizen or anything like that. You'll go to Kosovo for about a month, do work with the CERT team. So this is the incident response team for the country. Then also the police intelligence organization over there as well. So Kosovo is like Taiwan. It's like Taiwan. So they're in Serbia. They had it was a genocide, if you want to call it, or civil war, a war that happened. And so basically they're an independent nation. It's safe, no one's getting killed. Well, not in the country. Well, in the country, you're okay. But if you go to some other places, we'll chat offline. But it's really a great opportunity to work with top people doing cyber for the country. And then it's good to get experience from the ground up. Because you'll do it like an internship, work study, you get a certificate, it would be a class, you get a letter from the employer there in English, and then it should help you out. All right, so we have that. One of the cool things that we have about the center, we have a conference called Shy CyberCon. And so this conference had approximately 900 attendees. We did it in person virtually. This year it's going to be, I believe, the first week of April. You can see some of the keynote speakers. So this is Lynn Dome of WISES, which is Women in Cybersecurity. And then we had Mr. David Kalat, and so he's the director of global investigations and strategic intelligence at the Berkeley Research Group. And then we had a number of other people that came and spoke as well. So these two are faculty here. He does our forensics. This is Churchstad. These local people. We had these different panels. This is the panel that I led. So this panel was how to break into the cybersecurity profession. And this one was good because having a degree is good, but you still need to break in. What are different ways to break in? You know, you can't just have your resume or CV like, all right, I'm ready, please hire me. And I'm like, okay, that's great. Like, put it into the automated system. Go through an automated system and you still hope you get called. Offline, I'll show you some different tricks to have your resume picked up quicker, much quicker, like extremely quick, and move your resume to the top of the pile. So what I generally do, like towards like the second month, I'll have them meet on Sundays. And I'm like, hey guys, in my other class, I'm talking about resumes and LinkedIn. You should meet with me, but I'll record a session. Meet with me. We'll talk about that, and then we'll do that. Like we'll use ChatGPT to help create the resume, keywords. We'll use some other sites. You put in key stuff, and then reformat based on your experience, and then have that target for the job that you want. It's not saying you're lying or anything. It's just a lot of these systems, they pick up keywords and phrases, and that's how they rank and stack your resume. All right. So these are all recorded. I will send a link so you can have these, but they're all recorded. So you can even now you can just listen. They've been recorded. You can listen and see what's going on. But we'll have a job fair here as well. And a number of organizations will be able to, you'll be able to talk about internships and stuff like that. So like I said, it's really key to network and understand what is going on, at least here in Chicago, as it relates to cyber. All right, so we have that. So my office, everyone knows where the ITM office is, right? So you have the ITM office. There's a door with nothing on it. Now there's some papers that have my name on it. That's my door, right? So I'm here on Thursdays. There's other days I may come here as well, but I have office hours. You can send me something, send me an email. One student today, he wanted to meet with me, but I said, I'm driving to Chicago, just call me. We chatted on the phone. He thought it was something complicated. We knocked it out in like a couple minutes, right? So it's no big deal at all. You will get a TA for the class. So there'll be a TA, and then between myself and a TA, they'll be able to cover everybody appropriately. So everybody here can do SQL, right? Can we do basic SQL? Yes, 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 yes. All right, what about here? You're quiet. SQL? Okay. You don't sound confident. You just like, yeah, you know, you gotta be confident. All right. So I have a ton of different items to, guide you. Because I always tell students, like, my goal is not to see you again in the same class. Right. So I teach a lot of these courses, and it's very difficult when I'm like, I just saw this guy like last semester. Like, am I in the wrong class? No, they have to retake the class. We don't want to do that. All right, so what we're going to do, we are going to go around. And we have time. We have like 3 hours, right? You're going to introduce yourself, and then what you expect, where you're from Chicago, and if you're from Chicago, like where in Chicago, and if you're from the suburbs, hey, I'm from Plainfield, Romeoville, or whatever. I'm undergrad, grad. I'm expecting to get this up to class, right? So we're going to start in the classroom first, and then we'll hit everybody online. So over here. Yep, let me try.
My name is Mohammed. I'm from Mumbai, India, and I've worked as a Java developer and a front-end developer.
Okay. Mohammed from Mumbai. Okay, almost rhymes. All right, next.
Hello, my name is Jaya. I'm from Mumbai, India, and I recently graduated. I've done my bachelor's in information technology.
Okay, from where?
Mumbai.
Oh, University of Mumbai.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, fancy man. All right, glad. What about you? Same. What school of Mumbai?
Same university for different colleges, but same university.
Okay.
I am Bharat. I'm from India. I did my undergraduate.
And it's a big place. You're not from somewhere cool like Mumbai or Bangalore.
I'm from Andhra Pradesh,
Okay.
India. I did my undergraduate in Bharat.
Okay.
Hi everyone, this is Bharat. I'm from Hyderabad, India. I'm having 2 years of work experience in IT consultant job. I was working as an analyst.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Bargo. I'm from Hyderabad, India. I completed my undergrad. I'm now from my master.
So quick question. We got Mumbai over here, Hyderabad. Is this by accident or we're just grouping ourselves together by the cities we're from?
Actually,
Okay. Over here.
I'm Srika. I'm from Hyderabad, India, and I'm completing my undergrad in electronics and computing.
What are you expecting to get the class? So we'll start that with you.
Hi, my name is Sanitya, and I'm from Telangana, south of India. And I work with Amazon. I was in a piece of for a couple of years, and then I worked as a analyst for last 2 years with Amazon. And I stay here at the Fulbright. And next to take out of the classes, very often. Office and feedback and I mean, academia is great, but constant, to the assessment, constant feedback, and help to just like you something about the rest of your house. Career is a lot of
One of the things that you notice about this department is that everyone has to have worked in the industry. So a lot of times when people get their doctorates, it's because this is what they want to do, right? This is their passion. They want to be a professor. They want to do research. Myself, I was trying to impress the girl. I'll be honest. That's why I did the doctorate. Oh, okay. I did my impressing, and then in America, when you don't live on campus and do the traditional route, you take out student loans. Like, all right, crap, I got these student loans. So it was all by pure accident. But everyone in the department has industry experience. Our department chair, a retired naval officer. He worked with the NSA. He was a pilot. Trig's dad, a pilot as well. He was our director of IT, I believe, for the School of Applied Technology within the university. He's been at university, I think, at least 32 years. Omar worked as well, doing tech stuff for a number of years, including translating in Iraq. Young, I don't remember much what Young did, but I believe Young worked in the industry a bit as well. But everyone has experience in industry. You'll notice at a lot of places that, like I said, people will undergrad to PhD to go teach, to do research, and they're disconnected from things that go on. So that is like kind of one of the kind of reassures that people here in this department at least know kind of what's going on. Like, so in this university in general, they prefer that you consult and stuff like that. Like during the summer, like I'm working during projects, other places, I'm out the country a lot. You're always welcome to tag along. It may not be the safest in the world, but you're welcome to tag along if you don't mind being unsafe a little bit. But I'm always working on various projects and stuff. And I have funding. I have a lot of funding. If you have at least the green card, I can send you to East, West Africa, and Asia without a problem. Like it can just happen like that. You can work on a project with a government agency out there. So, and next.
I'm Jaya. I'm from Telangana, India. I'm 22 graduate from electrical and electronics engineering. I'm planning to build good networks here.
Okay. Did you already meet some other people? Then you sit next to her. All right. To try to trying to make a good network. Make sure you say hi to her. You guys share contact information. All right.
Yeah, I'm from Tamil Nadu, India, and I have completed my undergrad in working in for the last 2 years as a program. Now I'm trying to get an
Okay.
Dylan. I'm originally from New York, American. I'm doing co-term with my last year. We'll come over to the farm and come to Canada, and I would like to join the government before, but I guess someone that
Okay. You said Long Island. Wu-Tang is from Long Island or Staten Island? Okay.
But I'm a big fan, so.
So with what you just said, are you on scholarship or what? Okay. Yeah, we'll have to talk because like I said, there's a lot of opportunity. I even have I'll share my YouTube channel, but there is a recorded talk about getting fellowships with the government, stuff like that.
I haven't before we were cybersecurity right now, so I concur first.
Yeah, and I'm gonna have a number of speakers come in. Well, it'll be virtual. They'll talk about different opportunities and stuff like that because it's important, right? You go through class, you learn some material, and then unfortunately, a lot of times you dump like half of it and you get to the next class. The key is to retain some good things, at least some foundational stuff, then use it, create those networks, and then use it to leapfrog into some other stuff. All right, we'll go right here.
I'm Akash from Shady, Maharashtra State. I recently graduated in computer science with 2 internships as a data engineer and as a DevOps and cloud intern.
Okay, and what do you want to learn? Or what do you hope to learn?
Yeah, I'm here to learn data analytics.
Learn data analytics?
Yeah.
Okay. In your degree, but what about in this class?
Data with security.
Okay, okay. That was a good say. All right, next.
Okay, my name is Rishikesh and I'm from Mumbai, India. So I did my bachelor's in mechanical engineering and my most recent internship was in data analytics and machine learning.
Okay. All right.
I'm Prasan Mani. I have completed my bachelor's in mechanical engineering. I'm from Mumbai, India.
All right. All right.
Hello, people from Andhra, India. I worked as section from last year. And I want to learn new things with the push of material.
Okay.
My name is Nish. I'm from Andhra, India. I was just gone with for a year. I like it. I'm trying to succeed better.
All right. Gotcha. All right. Next up.
I'm Bhaskran. I'm from Andhra, India. I worked as a data engineer for 2 years and I got in my computer.
Okay. What did you study back in India?
Yeah, I'm graduated in electronics.
Okay. All right. Behind you. You say you live in Aurora? So you take the train in, right? Really? Oh, God bless you. Okay. 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 You should take the train in. Take the train in. If you get in early, I think it's like bus number 1. It will go straight to Illinois. Otherwise, do like an Uber or Lyft share. Like drive in from Aurora. You have a great train station out there. It's great. Make use of it. All right, next to you. Okay.
Hello everyone, my name is Joel. I am from Chennai, which is the third of India, and I did my bachelor's in computer science and engineering. I recently graduated, and I did a project on blockchain during my undergrad, and there I came to know about database security is much important for data to be used, and that is the reason why this was out.
Did you publish that paper or that project on blockchain? Did you publish it?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay. Well, let's talk after class about it.
I'm from Hyderabad, India. I completed my undergraduate course in 2020 in mechanical engineering. And then I worked as a test for the automation engineering with Infosys for 2 years. And now I'm here to explore the career opportunities that I am interested in. So, with the courses I have taken the first semester, I'll find something that's more convenient to the career goals. in my career.
What is your career goal? What is your big goal?
Currently, for the past 2 years, I have been exploring the Hadoop ecosystems and all with the online courses. So I'm actually having very less idea about this data field. I thought data analysis would be a good start to get into this field, to work at a data analysis.
All right.
So my name is Jaya. I am from India. I did my undergrad in content marketing.
Okay.
Monesh and commission advertisers and others commission and I worked with Access for past 4 months and I'm here to do my remarks. Hi everyone, myself is Akash from Andhra Pradesh. I completed my undergraduate in 2022 in computer science and history and later about a substitute consultant in education technology. And I am here to develop myself, my skills in technical consulting.
Okay. All right, we'll start back here. I'll the back of the screen. Yeah.
I am Satya. I did my undergrad in IT.
In IT or from IIT?
No, in IT.
Okay. Where? What school?
PDB is the Science Technology.
Okay.
It's an other one.
All right. Well, next to you.
Hi, myself is Akash. I'm from Hyderabad, India. I completed my undergraduate in information technology.
Okay. Same school or what?
Yeah.
So you're friends from back home?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hello, Professor. My name is Raj. I completed my bachelor's in IT. Last year, then I was working with HDFC Bank as an automation tester, and now I'm doing this master's in IT. And from the class, I really want to learn the database security because nowadays we know the security is very important thing.
All right.
My name is Munawar, and I'm doing master's in data analytics and management. I'm a Fulbright scholar. Like,
Oh, you are. Okay.
Yeah.
So are you? They're paying the 2 years or what?
yeah, they're paying for my complete master's. I'm from Pakistan, so like,
Okay.
from Pakistan.
Islamabad, Lahore. Where are you from?
I'm from Karachi.
Oh, you're from Karachi. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So,
There's another individual here at the university. He is from Mali, and he's a Fulbright scholar, and they're paying for him to get his master's as well.
yeah, there are a couple of other fellows as well. A couple from Pakistan, and then there are from, I think there's a girl from Europe. I'm not sure where she's from exactly. I met her one time. So yeah, there are other people as well. And I worked in the central bank operation
Okay.
more than 5 years. And after that, I was like very much interested in data analytics and management because I had undergrad degree in electronic engineering and I was working in the central bank. So I was like very good to, decide my past background and technical background and make something out of it. So I came here for data analytics and management. And about the course, I would say data security is very important for it. And like I worked in a bank, and when I was working there were 2 security breaches in the private commercial bank, and one of the banks lost like $6 million. So I was working with the regulator, and it was like very alarming situation. So that having that background like makes me think a lot about database security. I studied database in the first semester and the second semester as well. Now I want to work more on the database security, and I also want to think how database security can work with LLM. Like now there's large language models, they're kind of they have disrupted already. There's technological landscape. I just want, I'm currently working on the project.
So real quick interjection. So with the Fulbright, you can get them to pay for your PhD. We'll chat. For those that don't know, our PhD program in IT will be approved. We're expecting to be approved. And then for those that are U.S. citizens, I think we have what, 2 in the room. I can help you guys get a Fulbright as well. So I've been a Fulbright, like I didn't mention, I've been a Fulbright like 5 times. I'm expecting my 6th Fulbright. I'm also like a speaker with the U.S. Department of State with the U.S. Embassy, so they pay me to speak in various countries and stuff or be online. I can walk you through that process. It is a great process. And if you haven't traveled abroad, it's good as well. But you go there, you do projects, and then if you're from another country, I think India is difficult. There's just so many Indians, but if you're from like Pakistan, Bangladesh, it's a little bit more feasible. But the Fulbright program is good, and there's a ton of other programs. There's a website called profellow.com. Register on that website, it's free, and they have fellowships, scholarships, and stuff like that. So if you're like, okay, I'm done with Illinois Tech, I want to do a PhD, but I don't want to pay for anything, there are a number of places that you can get things paid for. And different countries will give you different papers when you finish the PhD. Australia, they give you, I believe, a residency card. Same with Canada, stuff like that. In the US, you can expedite stuff for the PhD. So we can talk about all that stuff offline, but there are limitless opportunities that you can take advantage of and should, no matter your status. All right, you're good. Let's go over here.
Hello, everyone. I'm Arvind. I'm from Hyderabad, India. I completed my bachelor from International Communication.
All right.
Hyderabad, India. Completed bachelor's in engineering from NIT, Smart City. I've done data and internship in information.
Hello, everyone. I'm Jaya. I did my graduation in mechanical engineering, and I worked as a program analyst in Bargo for 2 years. And now I'm here for master's in data analytics.
Okay.
Hello, I'm Chandan from Chennai, New York. I completed my bachelor's in computer science. I'm currently at
Hello, everyone. I'm Naman. I completed my bachelor's from MI University in Ahmedabad, Gujarat, after which I worked with Deloitte Consulting, and I then decided to pursue my master's here.
I'm Akash from Hyderabad, India. I've completed my undergrad in computer science and worked in Accenture as an analyst for 2 years. Right now, I'm here for
And you're saying it's Prakash, right?
Yeah.
You know, it's hot outside. It's like 100 degrees. You got looks heavy. Okay. You got to dress better. All right, you go ahead.
Hi, my name is Ishan. I'm from Pune, India. I've been working in web development and a bit of mobile app development for the past 2 years. And now I'm excited to switch to data. And I'm also excited for the course.
All right.
Hi, my name is Harshad Sawant, and I did my undergrad from Pune University, India. And I'm here for IPM course with specialization in data analytics and management. And I'm very excited to be here.
Glad to have you.
Good evening, Professor, and good evening, everyone. My name is Pradeep Garade, and I have completed my bachelor's in electronics and telecommunications from RIT, which was affiliated to Mumbai University. And since then, I was working in Cognizant as a program analyst under data warehousing and ETL. So we had electives in the college, database management, big data, and project management. So from there, I grabbed the interest for the data analytics. And I was working in the data warehousing, so I realized that I need to learn more in the data analyst roles. And I realized that cybersecurity is necessary, just not to be a data analyst, but to also secure the data. And cryptography is something I wanted to learn here, and networking with the people here. So I'm looking forward to the course and the program. Thank you.
So, my name is I'm from China, and I was having 1.5 year work experience in China international company, doing marketing and like for the music that have some background people. That's why like I should like
You said Thailand? Did I hear that?
yeah, mainland.
Oh, okay. Okay.
My name is Alan, and I'm from Taiwan, and I'm a graduate student. And in Taiwan, I used to study a business major, and and I try to after I graduate and try to looking for better opportunities, and so I come to America to study the ITM and try to get a better job or opportunity.
Okay. So are you trying to go back home or elsewhere? You say where? Yeah, where are you trying to go?
I try to find a job over here and maybe work for like 2 or 3 years. Now, go back to my hometown,
Okay. What's your hometown? What's the exact hometown?
Taiwan.
I mean, where in Taiwan?
Taipei.
Oh, you're from the capital.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a big city. Okay. You're saying like it's like some little village. Like, I'm gonna go back to my little village and we're gonna hang out. Okay. It's a lot of industry there.
Right, so I guess I'm the other US citizen here.
All
My name is David. I'm here from Chicago. Currently I'm a co-criminal student with IPM with a specialization in computer and information security. So yeah, I'm currently a cloud security engineer as well.
right. And so we're gonna go online and we're gonna go to Akash.
Yeah, hi.
All right, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Yeah, myself Akash. I'm from Madurai, south of India, and I did my bachelor's in computer science in specialization with cyber security. And I passed out in 2021, and I worked for Infosys for past 2 years.
All right, let's go to Andrew Haynes.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yep, loud and clear.
All right. My name is Andrew Haynes. I'm a grad student. What I expect from this class, just to learn more about database security.
All right, that's our other U.S. citizen. Let's go to
No, not
Bargo.
kidding.
Yeah, let's go to Bargo.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, my name is Bargo Kumar. I completed my undergraduate in mechanical engineering, and after that I have worked for Infosys as a Salesforce developer for 1.5 years, and now I'm doing masters in doing my specialization in data analytics and management.
All right, let's go to Jaya. Jaya W.
Hi, my name is Jaya and I have completed my Bachelor's of Computer Science from the University of Mumbai. Then after I did two internships as a data analyst, and currently I'm doing Master's in ITM with a specialization of data analytics.
All right, let's go to Jaya Harti. I'm saying that, Harati, yes. All right, let's jump to Jaron Jack. Jaron Jack's not there. All right, let's go to Mekana. All right, let's go to Neha. All right, seems like the online students may be asleep or something. So here's the kind of, so I'm going to record this every session no matter what, right? So if you happen to get sick or whatever, not a big deal. So it'll be recorded. I'll post it on my personal YouTube page. I'll share the file. I'll also put it on Google Drive. So I'll create a folder later on, but you'll be able to have the course lecture. So if you miss something or you're like, no, I need to get something to drink. It is 3 hours and it's towards the end of the day. So I understand you get sleepy, you want to get splash water in your face. Do not worry, just go do that, come back. It's okay. I know how it is. I remember taking class in the evening, working and taking class in the evening. I remember being asleep in some of my classes. Don't be asleep, just splash water in your face. It can be a lot. But everything is recorded. Only until the end of the semester we'll meet like completely virtually. I'll be here on campus, but you'll be working in your groups. Now, I'm going to share the course there's a lot of stuff here. Hopefully no one got I guess was afraid. So these are announcements that I sent out. So here's my office hours and booking. It's on You Book Me. The TA will have something similar. So you can book me. I've already been booked for this date. I sent it out at like, I don't know, 12:30. By like 5:40, people were like booking left and right and sending emails. I'm like, goodness gracious, I didn't think anybody would be up. That was the point of sending it out late, but I guess that didn't work. Here is the class, basically saying hello. There's a Zoom link. Here are the dates. Now, some of these dates are holidays. This is reoccurring. If it's a holiday, right, we have Thanksgiving. I understand that you guys may be enjoying, but if you want to have a discussion, I will say, we don't have class, but I have an hour available. Talk, ask questions, no big deal, right? I can fry a turkey and talk. It's not a big deal. We'll chat. We'll see what needs to be done, and we'll just keep moving forward. So we will do that. If I happen to be at an academic conference or an event, I will post a pre-recorded lecture, and I'll say, hey, I'm out. This is what we're doing or whatever. And so things will still carry on, one way or the other. All right, so that is that. Here I have an overview and syllabus. So there's a syllabus here. So if you look here, what I have is what we're doing every week. Overview of cybersecurity, operations of cybersecurity fundamentals. There's reading material. There's quizzes, right? So the quizzes may or may not happen. It just depends on how you participate. If you participate, you're live. I'm like, okay, you don't need a quiz. But if it's just like super dead, I'm like, all right, I am quizzing them. You'll have like 24 to 40 hours to take the quiz, right? The quizzes, they can count 10% of the grade. If everybody's participating, then we won't have quizzes. There is quite a bit of assignments, but I'll explain them, so don't worry. All the reading materials, I give it to you for free, right? Because I understand the cost of books. You're already paying to be here. You're paying for lodging. You have to pay for your train tickets at least, but there's quite a bit you're paying for. And so I try to alleviate whatever that cost may be and provide things that are open access and widely available that are used. So everything's broken up by week. And then you'll see this in every particular course, textbook, course objectives, website, Blackboard. If you have a disability, which office to contact, so you need accommodations. So if you need accommodations, let me know up front. We'll let the school know so they can have everything ready for you. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it. So we have that. So that's the syllabus. Here are the books. So there is you use SQL. MySQL will load it on Ubuntu, but I have the SQLite cookbook. I have this particular book here is broken up by the whole book and the chapters. I have the software, how to install SQLite browser, Rapid Miner. We'll do some data mining stuff. Has anybody here used Rapid Miner? This one?
I've used it.
Who used it?
Andrew.
Oh, okay. Wait, I thought it was over here. I'm like looking like this. Okay. All right. We're going to use R as well. So we're going to use these analytic tools with database security. I think I provided, yeah. I'll put a cheat sheet up there so you can be able to navigate it, because R is another programming language, but you'll just be using it for statistical analysis when we start pulling stuff from databases and stuff like that. But it's a powerful tool, especially when you're thinking about like database design and architecture, being able to map all these items out and create beautiful visualizations to help you understand what is going on in the database. I have a reference guide. Here's a cheat sheet, Kali Linux core software. You can actually just download SQL map on your Ubuntu machine. So it's no big deal. But if you just want to use Kali with a bunch of other tools, SQL map is in there. You can just do that. So I have the download for that. I need to put the latest and greatest. This is my old card. It's pretty much the same email address, but it's just copying my old card. So you have that. Then I have assignments and projects. So in this page here, in red, it says submit assignments here. Then every week you have resources in the folder. Now, don't worry about this in the red. There it says write up and stuff like that. Don't worry about those. I've superseded those items, so I haven't been able to delete it. But if we click here and we go to submit assignments, this is where you can see all the assignments. So I try to be a little bit detailed to clear up any ambiguity. Like, okay, well, what do we do? What do I write about? How many points? So everything is in here. So what you'll have when you get your grade feedback will be this rubric. So this rubric is how you will be graded. All right. So this one, fundamentals of cybersecurity database. Page 1, introduction to cybersecurity for databases. Page 2, importance of database security. Fundamental database security. So everything's written here, and it goes to safe assign. All right. Goes to safe assign. I always tell people, especially now, like, there's this wonderful new tool out there. Everybody uses it, right? Who's using ChatGPT? Writing papers? It's okay. I'm not gonna tell you. You're just not gonna do it for this class. You do it for every class, not this class. But ChatGPT, it's a great tool. I've actually published a paper with a former student of mine on ChatGPT, using it for firewalls and stuff. Really good paper. I'll send it up to you guys. But what you can do, you can use ChatGPT to give you an idea. Like, all right, well, let me get ideas. The ChatGPT, it doesn't give you references. It doesn't give you like the scholarly stuff, but you can say, all right, well, create an outline for this paper, right? Create the outline, and from there, like, oh, I can write about talking about databases. It's talking about issues in terms of cryptographic keys that are embedded. These are hard-coded keys in databases that shouldn't be hard-coded, but it's there. So even though you have cryptographic keys, it doesn't matter because they're in the database and anybody can take advantage of them. So you can create this outline with ChatGPT, and from there you can write to it. So that is how you should use ChatGPT the best way. Like, it should simplify your writing. You still have to write, but at least you don't spend time thinking about, oh, okay, page 2, how did you page 2? No, let them tell you, give you an idea in terms of what the topic areas, because you can write from there. So this is broken out. You have to do database set configuration. Here's the actual attached file, and this breaks down installation and setup, database creation and population, querying the database, backup and restore, security, access control. So everything is broken up here in 5 tasks. You have exploring multi-level security and information systems. So there's a paper, goes really detailed, talking about secure and enhanced Linux, trusted operating systems. There's an item that talks about exploring database architecture. You have that one here. And then it says here, it'll tell you if it's individual group. So you have some individual assignments, and you have group assignments as well. So group assignment, SQL injection, testing using SQL map. Pretty much right now, analyze target URL. I will give you your first one. Yeah, actually, yeah, I'll give you your first one right here, which is this website. And then I will give you some others, again, so you do not get in trouble. Because once you do this, like, oh, can I do this? It's easy to do. It may or may not work. It may take time, but it's not difficult. So it's given right here. Again, this will be done in a group. Another group one, research. This is only for grad students. So for grad students, one of the issues I've realized is if I say, hey, grad students, you're going to write a research paper. And it's not, I don't think it's fair of me to expect a quality research paper if it's just one student. And a lot of my papers, there's like several authors. There's like 2, 3, 4 authors. So you have the ability to have the 3 authors to work on a paper, 2 to 3 authors to work on a paper. And it's going to be publishable. So you will submit it to a journal, and then it's on you to follow through with that journal to make sure it gets accepted. But this only helps you out. That's all it does, right? So it may seem like a lot, but at the end it's like, hey, so-and-so, tell me about database security. It's like, oh yeah, well, you know, if you just Google my name, right? I have a published paper on database security. It was cited by, you know, CES during a huge conference, and they talked this, and I had another interview because of this, and maybe this newspaper picked it up because of this. It creates a huge amount of credibility, right? Even in negotiating salary, when you go negotiate salary and you say, all right, well, we want to give you 80K. I was like, okay, that's great, but you do know, like, I'm an expert. And then you point to that like, oh, this is what I did. look at all the organizations that are following what I did. Like, it's not just a research paper, it's a research paper that has an actual, I guess, real world impact, right? So a lot of the papers I do, which you'll read one of the chapters I published about microfinancing in East Africa, looking at the database, it was actually a real project funded by USAID, working with the largest microfinancing organization in Ethiopia, and actually looked at the database, the issues they had in terms of cybersecurity, scaling, and stuff like that. So the goal is to take real world projects, we call it action research, and publish that. And then when you go talk to an organization, they ask about what project would you do? Oh, this is a real world problem that I helped solve. Not just this is quantum computing and we're going to fix X, Y, and Z. We're expecting this to happen based on no, we're not doing that. We're doing like real world problems. So we'll do that, and I will be working with you through that. Presentation on East African cybersecurity. There's a link. I will actually give you the paper, because technically you're here to ask you to pay for it. But I will give it to you. The interesting thing with this is what I talked about, like in terms of the amount of co-authors, because here you see myself, 1, 2, 3, 4 people, right? So in the real world, it takes a number of people to do really good studies. And you see here, like it's 4 people. If we go to any of these here, you just look at this, 3 authors, 3 authors, 4 authors. You can see that there's a lot of authors on many of these active chapters for this book. All right, so going here, another group project, SQL injection analysis using SQL map and data mining tool. So here, you'll do the SQL injection, but then you'll also mine the data, right? Because you break into a database, it's like, okay, well, what's there? You have to be able to go through all that data and find what is useful, right? Otherwise, you just have information, but you can't make any correlation of the data, any patterns, anything useful. Like, there's data breaches all the time. Does it mean they got something useful? Maybe not. But what's interesting is certain websites, databases may be linked. We'll talk about that. But one particular site in Kenya, it was a site organization that built cars for their government and people. They're called Mutatris. Have anybody heard of Mutatris? Probably not. Mutatris are they're like party buses, but they're not party buses. They're like for traveling around. They have Wi-Fi. They serve food, depending upon your social level, right? If you're at a lower socioeconomic level, you're paying for a driver who may be driving drunk. That's at the low end. If you're paying at the high end, you have drinks served, food served, your Wi-Fi is good. I mean, it's amazing. It's like a party bus. It's like you're driving to work, you're pumped because you just had a party bus going to work. You're like, you know what? Great job today. On the low end, you're like, I barely got to work, and I think the bus driver was high, right? So this company did all that. And so what was interesting, people would apply to work at this company. So the database that they had would show all the information people applied. So when you go on a particular website to apply for a job, you create an account, right? And then in some companies, in some countries, you have to list a lot of specific information, like where you went to school at. You have a picture of yourself. You have your email account. You have the password for the actual registration to create the resume. A lot of people reuse the same passwords over and over. So you're able to breach that particular site. You say, all right, I got their email address. I am going to try their password in a number of their sites. In my cybersecurity technology course, I talk about a tool called Maltego. It does footprint. It looks at your digital footprint. You can put someone's email address there, see what other stuff comes up there, and then you can start using that password that you found from that database there. Really interesting. And a lot of organizations want the information contained in actual resume databases. It allows for them to create better scams and to try to ask for other information. Now, I realize I have a lot of students here from India, but one of the biggest things here is recruitment companies will ask you for all types of information. So if you guys, there's a website called Dice, put your resume in there, somebody will contact you quick. However, there are a lot of people that will scam you on this website too, right? There'll be a recruiter that'll call you up, hey, we have a job. They don't care if you work from home. You can work 3-4 jobs. I just need a copy of your driver's license. And I'm asking you, we need to cover the process process you for a job. And a lot of these companies do that. I mean, these scam companies. So what they do is they get your resume, they get your driver's license, and they try to apply for stuff in your name and move stuff to them instead, or use your information for other stuff. Right? Happens a lot. So we'll talk about that later, but that's another ordeal. So we'll do that. Again, there's a rubric. There's pretty detailed stuff and how many points. There's individuals on the paper of access control using the NIS 853, Rev 4. Here's a group one, applying access control database. I'll show you how this one looks. All right. So I gave you the link for the database. It's the global terrorism database, one of my favorite in the world. So I do a lot of research on terrorism, and it has everything that is really good. I tell you the NIST controls, where you can locate them at. The controls that you input, separation of duties, control, guidance, create 4 roles. So all that stuff is here, login, unsuccessful attempts, and then I give you help as well to help you complete the assignment. And while you're doing all of these assignments, I am right here. So you have questions, yo, Dr. Mo, I have a question about this. I need some guidance. My job is to guide you. Hopefully to success and not failure. My job is to guide you. So I will be here to guide you. All right, so that is that particular item. There's an encryption assignment. So it's a group 1 secure data storage and encryption using GNU PG. So that's right here. So database design and setup, securing the data storage, encryption using GNU PG. I'll give you, like, once you install GNU PG, you can use the man page. It will show you pretty much what to do, but we'll walk through it as well. And then depending upon if you have time in class, we'll use some other encryption tools to encrypt items inside encrypted containers. There's database security and compliance implementation. This is the group project. So this one is quite a bit. This is the big one. This will take most of November. These are all the items that you need to do. You'll create an earned value analysis. You do a project management log plan. You do a project management plan. You have all these contents. And then you'll have a test plan as well. And it'll be for each one of these particular controls. So like if we go to system use notification, click on here, it'll take it to this particular item on 853. Change that link. But yeah, I'll make sure you have all the proper links. And then right here is just a template folder for the guidance, EVM workbook, risk management, list your group members, and all that good stuff. All right, so you see here for this week, overview of cybersecurity, operating system fundamentals, and then there's reading materials. You click within a week. You should see some items reading, and then the presentation for the class and stuff like that. All right, any questions? Questions? No questions? All right, no questions. Take about a 15-minute break and then come back and then we'll start back up. So for those online, I'm going to pause and we will start back up in 15 minutes. All right, so we're going to start back up. So quick question, how many jobs, cybersecurity jobs, do you think are open right now in this country? How many jobs do you think are open? Hundreds of thousands. Okay. Let's think about Chicago, right? This metropolitan area. How many jobs do you think are open in Chicago, in Chicagoland? How many jobs do you think? You said 1,000?
Do we need to fill?
Yes. How many are filled? What are we thinking? Any guesses back here? How many jobs do you think are open? 20,000. Okay. You must have went on the link on your phone. All right. So I'm going to go here. So in our beautiful state of Illinois, remember the S is silent, so they'll be like, I'm living in Illinois. There is, in our state, there's 25,105 jobs. Now, for those that are new here, the only thing that matters in the state of Chicago, right? There's other places, but they really don't impact us as much in terms of jobs and GDP. But if you look at metropolitan areas, so we do metro areas, we look at Chicago, you'll see there's about 20,000 jobs open, right? That's a huge amount of jobs open. So what does this mean for you with all these job openings? What does it mean? Yeah, you shouldn't be jobless. You should be able to at least get one of these jobs. Now, I have a number of former students that are not working but one, but two jobs. Huh? Is that what you're doing now, or are you planning on doing that? Okay. They're working two jobs. And they're making over $200,000 doing that. A lot of companies are having trouble filling positions. So there's lots of opportunity available. The cool thing is this site here, it will show you what are these certifications that they're requesting. What certs they're requesting. So you can see here these certifications that are requested. So you need a degree, right? You need certifications, and you need some type of experience. Now, I was talking to some students here, and they told me that they did the cybersecurity boot camp, the virtual one that I developed a year back. Now, something like that, you could write that up as experience. Do you guys have that written up as experience? Oh, who said yes? I heard a yes from over here. All right. So you can write that up as experience. Because you're supposed to get a letter by, did you get a letter by Cisco? Yep. So you get a letter by Cisco. What did you do? You did an internship. It's powered by Cisco through the center here as well. So you have that to put on your LinkedIn and on your resume. So you write that up, right? So you have that. And then when you finish this class, you should at least get the Security Plus, right? You should get the Security Plus. And then this certification is a bit difficult. The way you get jobs, you say CISSP in progress, right? You're not lying. It's in progress. You're going to get it. You just have a date that you're going to get it by. Remember when I told you about these organizations, they look at keywords? You have that word in there, they're going to call you. Like, hey, you have a job. Are you happy? Are things okay? Like, oh, I don't want to come to work, really. I want to do remote. Okay, just do hybrid. Because a lot of companies are asking for hybrid and they're begging people. How many days can you come? I can come maybe 2. Okay, you can come 2 then. I just want to come Tuesday, Wednesday, and be in Miami the rest of the week. There's a lot of opportunity and taking advantage of something like this because it tells you exactly what's needed. In terms of domains, operate and maintain, you can see there's 12,000. Most of the jobs here, you'll see data analyst is here. And so it shows all the skills, right? All the skills. He says the whole program. No, okay. It's not the whole program. There's actually a ton of, these are called knowledge units. There's knowledge units, skills, abilities. So we look at abilities. That's not too bad. Use data visualization, identify basic common dialogue flaws at a high level, coding flaws at a high level. That one's easy. Dissect the problem and examine interrelationships. Build complex data structures and high-level programming languages. Python, right? You can do that. You have faith in yourself, right? I have faith in you too. All right, so you have that. Click on close here. And then the other thing you can see is career pathway. And you can see a number of jobs and kind of how they relate and what feeds what. So someone mentions cybercrime, $90,000, education. Now, this will change based upon the location. There's a city near in the DC metropolitan region where 65% of the residents have a master's degree. 65% have a master's. So I always say, like, California is like, I call these movie star people, the look good people. When you get out to DC, Baltimore, that area, DC, greater metropolitan region, that is well educated. Everyone is there, very transit. People are trying to work with the government. That's why they have, I think, over 70,000 openings right now. Credentials matter. They matter a lot. Credentials and pedigree. The good thing is Illinois Tech has good pedigree. But there's a lot of competition. All right. So this is a good place as well. And then plus it shows skills and certifications. And so you can see the stuff here, right? Privacy, what do you do with privacy? There's a number of other certifications, but they're not listed, just showing these, where you can kind of see the roles, job title, skills. If I say cybersecurity manager, these are sort of the top skills. So going back here, if I click in metropolitan region, okay, if we look at California, 69,000, Texas, 58,000, Florida, 34. We look at Virginia, 61,648 jobs. We look at Maryland, 30,000 jobs. And then you have DC, you have this metro, over 74,000 jobs in one metropolitan region. The Chicago metropolitan region is bigger than us. We have a bigger metro than this region, yet they have 74,000 jobs open. It's a lot of jobs. Now, if you think about downtown DC to downtown Baltimore without traffic, with traffic it's long. Without traffic, it's about 45-minute drive, but there's always traffic in that region. You're looking at another 16,000 jobs. Now, if you're willing to travel a little further to Philadelphia, 11,000, and then you look at New York City, 33,000. There's over like 120,000 jobs in that 3.5 hour span. There's great transportation. There's a train. There's something called the Bolt bus. Did you ever take the Bolt bus? It's a $20 bus. Well, probably like $50 now from DC to New York. Oh no, great. That's different. And when we talk about Mutatu, is the lower end top end. For those who are new to this country, never take a Greyhound unless you're prepared, because you will sit next to an alcoholic. It will be bad. I mean, do it one time for the experience and call your friends and family back in India, like, look, I just gave Greyhound. It was the worst experience ever. This is not the stuff they show in American movies. This is not it. The Bolt bus is a double decker. They have Wi-Fi, everything. It's really clean. That is traveling in style. It's really good. Like, if you've never done it, I advise you to do it. It will make traveling via bus great. And then of course the train system is really good too. So, there's a lot of opportunity available. All right. Now, there's a number of certs that are out there. We'll talk about that another time. But what I want to do is I want to share this with you. So this is a YouTube channel that I have. There's a number of stuff here. What I'm doing is I'll load the classes up here. You can see from the other class, cybersecurity technologies up here. Digital forensics, that's an individual who actually came here from Nigeria last year to speak. Well, in the spring, he came from, I think it was Port Harcourt, but he does work in Abuja and Lagos, but he's really big in digital forensics back in Nigeria. He's on Forbes Africa. He's everywhere. So he was actually here in person and he spoke to my class. IT entrepreneurship Kaplan, so talking about all the funding that we have. But for those that need help writing resumes, this is a person here. She will hook up your resume. She has a student discount. She does amazing things and she gets people hired. She is worth a couple $100. She's good. When I say she's good, she is good. She has done stuff for big companies like Google, Microsoft, and she gets people in. So if you go to here, you'll see that all her information is here, her LinkedIn. That's obviously not her, that's an ad, people. But yeah, here's her LinkedIn. Here's her YouTube channel as well. And then of course everything is here, bad resume summary, resume templates. And then she goes through an actual talks about common mistakes and everything. She's really good. Now for certs, here's an individual, he charges like 25 bucks a month. He runs a training course online. And here's this individual here. And that's him. So he has like 3 black belts in different martial arts. He used to be Secret Service. He has 100 certification certificates. Now he has a lot. He does a lot. He does well. He does work with the federal government. I think recently he was with DISA. Before that, he was with the Defense Counterintelligence Organization. He does a lot of different things. He runs a capture the flag. He has his CDPSC. He just got his certified CISO certification. So he's a certified CISO, which is the Chief Information Security Officer. He has ITIL, Splunk, PowerShell. He has a lot of stuff. And so one of the cool things about him, he runs a training course which he uses to actually give you experience on your resume. And so he writes you a letter and stuff like that. Is he talking? Yeah, and that's his company right there. But here's his LinkedIn. So his LinkedIn items are here. His background. When I did this, he was the Deputy Program Manager of Cybersecurity for the Department of Treasury. He later went to the Defense Counterintelligence Organization, and now he's at DISA. I think he's somewhere else. Like in the DC metropolitan region, people leave every 2 years. Remember, every year you should put your resume out there, just to see, right? It's not like you're married to your job. You know, you don't get in trouble for leaving your job, right? But you should see, like, you get a raise and say, "Oh, we can't afford to give you raises here." Okay, we're gonna give you 1%. That does not keep up with inflation in this country. Cost of living, it doesn't. Put your resume out there, and you might never know. Somebody might be willing to double your salary. The way that I got my salary was jumping from company to company. Every year, even if I was happy, the company could have been treating me like the best thing in the world. Every year, I was like, "Oh, that's that anniversary again." Resume out there, and I would do interviews and stuff. Because the other thing you can do is you get the interview, you can come back to your main company and say, "Hey, I would like to talk to you. I don't want to leave you, but I did get an offer for X, Y, and Z. Is this something you can meet?" All right, so you have his information. See his profile here. Okay. Join, but yeah. If you connect with them, just say that Dr. Moser, professor, he said connect with you, and I'm sure that he'll work with you. Additionally, on this page, when I host these sessions, I will post these videos here too. So I'll start populating this with much more content, but you can see like setting up damn vulnerable web applications. You need to do that when you do your other SQL injection. So here's a whole video on how to set that up. And then I'll run through some other stuff on here and I'll post that stuff here. All right. So far, any questions?
Hey, Professor, I have a question.
Sure.
For the first assignment, where it says like page 1, page 2, is that like what you want per page?
Yeah, it's sort of it's what's the recommended writing point. So what I did was when I wrote the assignments out, I wanted to provide everyone the ability to be able to go into it right now. Yeah, so it helps break things out a lot easier for you, right? So you're right about the threat landscape and things you can do. Discuss this, discuss that. If you look at data sensitivity and regulatory compliance, discuss relevant frameworks, GDPR, HIPAA, and their requirements of data security because they're different, right? So HIPAA deals with healthcare. GDPR deals with those living in the European Union and disclosure of that data, right to be forgotten, stuff like that. All right. So what I'm trying to do is like you will meet these high level things, right? Access control authentication, you'll write about that, but these bullets are to give you the ability to write this paper a lot easier. Because there's a lot of assignments here. And there are quizzes as well. If we're all working together, it's all going well, there may be no quizzes, maybe one at most, but it's really to, like I said, make sure and guide.
Thanks, Professor. That's really helpful. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem, no problem. All right, so I'm going to pull this back, and then we are going to start with this. A lot of stuff here. We're going to try to go through there's a lot of stuff here. We're just going to cover some high level things. Okay, that was a little interesting. So I'm going to close this out and just bring up the PDF. It seems like the PDF is going to be the best for this right here. Awesome. Start recording again. All right. So the reason I bring up this particular domain is because where do you think most of the vulnerabilities are? Where do you think most of the vulnerabilities are? Right. When you think about general cybersecurity, you're focused on what? What is your focus on? General cybersecurity.
People.
Okay. All right. You said people. What do you mean people?
Like people being the greatest vulnerability, like the lack of knowledge or the lack of training.
Okay. What else? Think about application. Most of the vulnerabilities are found in the application layer. A lot of people are getting firewalls. They're hardening their routers and stuff like that. So the application, it's the software. A lot of companies will, like even Adobe, right? They have subcontractors developing parts of their actual their software suite. It's not all Adobe employees. They're getting it from some third party. So supply chain becomes an issue in terms of quality of the software, security of the software, because now they're trusting that the software is going to just plug and play within their organization. Right. So this is a little bit old. This is obviously older, but a lot of stuff's the same. But you can see here, they were saying that the 25 major agencies of the government continue to improve their cybersecurity. There's a report that goes out. It stopped going out with the last administration. You guys remember who was there, right? So the last administration, they stopped the report. I couldn't find it, but it's called FISMA, Federal Information Security Management Act. And so what they would do, every government agency, except for the Department of Defense, it's black, it's all classified, would state how well did they meet cybersecurity objectives, right? Department of Veteran Affairs was extremely bad, right? Does anybody know what the Department of Veteran Affairs does? Right, we know what a veteran is, right? What's a veteran? Served in the forces, right? So this entire department managed former soldiers, healthcare, benefits, and their records, all right? So it's interesting. You don't necessarily have to disclose classified information to understand what someone does. If someone says that they did, they in the U.S., we have a place called Fort Huachuca, military intelligence trains there. So now you have this record that says Fort Huachuca. They were there for so long. Oh, they were probably intelligence training. They went to this particular duty station. You can pick that stuff up. And here in this country, in terms of a veteran, you just have to serve for a few years. Even if you retire, it's 20 years. So if you go in as an officer, say you're 21, 22, I mean, my age now, no, I'm not 21, 22, good Lord, but I'm turning 41. I would have been retired, right? Still young, but retired. All my stuff, and I probably would be still working in the similar capacity. So if I did intelligence 20 years in the military, I'm probably doing the same thing now. So if someone's able to get the information, like, okay, well, Mo did intelligence here, he did training, he did this, he did that, this is where he lived, all this other stuff, they can pull all that information up. Social Security's there, records about my family, religion, everything is there. Healthcare, all my health records are there too, because Veteran Affairs, they will say, do you have any claims to get payment? And I would put all those items in, bless you. Was that a COVID cough or just a cough? that cough, I felt like I felt COVID in my lungs. Okay. It would state everything that I've done. And so then someone can use that information to either replicate my profile or to try to blackmail me, right? Information is power. The other organization was Housing and Urban Development, HUD, right? HUD does a lot of stuff. They manage government buildings. Those that are on government assistance, they manage all that stuff, the profiles for those families. A lot of stuff. Department of Transportation, right? Department of Transportation includes, I think, DOT includes Coast Guard now, because Coast Guard is no longer Department of Defense. So it's frightening when you realize these major agencies have severe deficiencies in their cybersecurity systems. So here it shows, this is older, but it shows a lot of various security incidents growing. And you can see unauthorized access grows. This is back in the early 2000s, but you can see the growth of unauthorized access, right? Everything's like unauthorized access is growing a lot. And they're like, oh, security incidents, they keep going. And it just continues to rise. Same thing with flaws in software. They kept rising as well. So back home, who studied computer science? Show of hands. Let me see. Computer science, 1, 2. Did you guys talk about cybersecurity in your computer science program at all? Okay, what did you talk about exactly? Did you just like cybersecurity and then learn about coding more or what? Okay. Traditionally, CS programs, they don't teach cybersecurity, right? Cybersecurity is sort of a new field. Cybersecurity was done mainly in the federal government, working on various programs. But in terms of education, computer science was purely theory, learning about how to develop applications, not even securely, just make sure it works. That was the key, making sure that the application worked. Doesn't matter if it's secure, it works, it's good. That's all you care about. Later, security became important because the attacks stopped happening mainly to the government agencies, right? If I'm going to be an attacker from a nefarious nation state, why would I attack the government? The government should have all types of proper security controls in place. I'm wasting time. It's all about work effort. So I attack regular companies. Why do I attack regular companies in the federal government?
Get more intel from government about civilians, operations.
No, remember, the people that are in the government, these are the same people with everyday lives.
So there are many places that they try to hide the information of the veterans or foreign personnel, and they try to bring it at them or maybe blackmail them and get the information out of them.
But in this instance, I'm talking about why they go after commercial companies and they get the same stuff, right? So that guy who's doing military intelligence, he have a house, he's shopping at Walmart, his kids are on TikTok. I mean, He's living, the average, I guess, American life. So it's just his job. So if I want to get information about the individual, I can go to the place that he goes to, and I just attack those that are probably not going to be secure, right?
Regarding the software, defects and cyber attacks I got, and we called one news from India. Couple of years back, the government brought a new app for the soldiers. So they stopped the soldiers from using the WhatsApp, and they invented their own tracking feature. What happened was, WhatsApp, they used to add, the rival countries were adding the persons and the family members in the random groups, and they were sending links and all to grab the information. So this was the thing happening. And there are certain mobile companies, they told them to not to use those phones. So there are many cases happening in the software effects and cyber security.
So since we're talking about India and apps, most of the mobile phones in India come from where? China, right? So China right now has a huge hand in the Indian market. I don't know if you guys know, but there were laws passed in India to restrict how many Chinese mobile companies can operate in India. Did you guys know that? But here's the funny thing is, there's also a loophole that says they can use a subcontractor. So what do a lot of Chinese companies do? They have subcontractors. They have these proxy companies or dummy companies, and they just work these companies to get it back to the Indian market. All right. So the issue is in terms of being able to go through the proprietary hardware, because there's even though we're talking database security, but there's hardware flaws as well that allows Chinese actors, nefarious actors, to take advantage of these particular flaws. And so that's a big issue, right? Devices, Huawei. Who has a Huawei phone? Nobody? Okay, you can't really use it in this country. But I was a big fan of Huawei. They had like the best cameras in the world. They were good. Oh my God, that's my Huawei phone, Huh? Yeah, oh yeah. But the funny thing is, just because one country is known for doing something, don't think it doesn't happen here. Oh, we got a new student. No, you're okay. You're okay. Come on in. But the same thing happens in every country, right? Just because news is going out about a particular country's watch and stuff like that, it happens everywhere. So, yeah, the Chinese are out there, but other countries are doing the same thing. It's everywhere. Like, never think you're safe for a moment. Never. I know it sounds bad, but just never. But that was one of the issues in terms of India. The biggest issue is that India doesn't produce its own electronics like that. They heavily, yes.
I had a quick question. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. When you're talking about the thing about attacking like people out of companies, like cyber attacks during companies from people that were like government officials or like they worked in the government, is your point like basically that they're low-hanging fruit when they do attack them at companies instead of the government?
Yes, they're extremely low-hanging fruit.
Okay.
It's about work factor, right? So how much effort do I want to put in to accomplish what I want to do? Like I could spend a long time trying to attack the federal government, but the U.S. military is the biggest in the world. I think we're bigger than like the next 4 militaries combined. So who wants to spend all that time and money going after that? No, you go to McDonald's or you go to Walmart and I'll just attack Walmart. I'll get the same information. Because with the amount of public data available, you can figure out where someone lives and all that stuff rather easily. It's not difficult. You can figure all that stuff out. I'm not saying go stalk people. You can't do that in America. Don't stalk people. But what I'm saying is it's not difficult to find out. And you can do that pretty much from anywhere in the world. So that becomes an issue. Now, here, when I talk about software statistics, this is NVD is a National Vulnerability Database. The problem is the flaws. There wasn't a focus on fixing flaws, right? Again, it was to make sure it works. And the funny thing is, in the last 2 decades, the top 10 common software defects are the same. When I show you how to do a SQL injection, you will see that they're the same stuff over and over. They're just renamed, but the stuff is the same year after year. So here, 2011, same as present day. It's the same items. They're just grouped together. Nothing has changed. So if you're going to be a hacker, you know, just saying, if you're going to end up, that's the road you're going to go in your life. I would hope you're not. These are the items or the vulnerabilities that have existed for over 2 decades. Now, if you're working in a company, you need to protect that particular company, that database, stuff like that. Well, now you know what the issues are, the top issues. Now you can begin to protect against those. All right, so here you see the same insecure cryptographic storage. You look at 2013 and you look at today, these are all the same. There's no big difference. All right, all this item says is that the more complex or more connections, the more complex it gets. And that's all it's showing here. And the number of interfaces changes, right? So it's just one. It's one back to back. We add you. Now, us three are going different directions. Keep adding more, it gets more complex. And now our threat landscape has changed, and we need to ensure that we can, you know, appropriately protect everything. It gets much more complex. Here it just says, as project size increases, the errors usually come from requirements and design. And if you wait longer to fix flaws, it's going to cost more money. This is, so Carnegie Mellon has the Software Engineering Institute, and they're focused on the capability trading model. So this model really focuses on software quality, but they have now a focus on security as well. Saying like, hey, if you know these vulnerabilities exist, don't wait until the product's getting ready to ship out the door, because now you're gonna spend more money trying to fix it, because you have to go back through all those tests and quality again to get the product out. And when you add in various cybersecurity controls, you say you need cryptographic controls in a database. Okay, you added cryptography, but there may be a requirement for what they call availability. So the system needs to be available, available. There needs to be reliability requirements. Now you can't meet those. So now you have to figure out, how can I meet these particular requirements? So that's why it's important to build up front, so you really have a realistic view of if you're going to meet the requirements that you say that you're going to do in the first place. Otherwise, you could break the system. All right, number of frameworks, but the important part here is the capability trading model. I always like to use like India and IT, because that was like the big thing, right? These were the years that everybody went to India for IT, development and stuff like that. During that time, the initial time, it was good for American companies because it was cheap labor. The problem for American companies was if they lost their superstar, then that company was screwed. That company couldn't reproduce what they just did. Now there's a lot of process and maturity with these organizations. So in India now, a lot of these companies are able to repeat stuff. The problem is back then you had these superstars, right? You have this superstar here, they were able to surpass the deadline, but now that superstar is getting paid double by the company next door. He goes next door. Now that organization cannot replicate what they just did. It's like buying a car. When you buy a car, say you buy, I don't know, a Hyundai, right? You buy a Hyundai, you know that there's some level of standard with the Hyundai, right? Imagine buying a Hyundai and, within a week it breaks down, your tires fall off. You're like, oh, this is a Hyundai. What is this? It's some junker. And so organizations need to feel the same way when they have applications and systems, right? You have this application, this application should work, right? It's just a level of quality that's being assured by the actual developer. All right, so here there's different models or different levels. Level 1 is initial, call it hero. You have heroes, right? You have these special people. 2, you can repeat it, right? It's some repeatable. 3 is defined. So here you have project management. So items are being managed. And then when you get to 4 and 5, these are your top. Like in this country, big organizations are 4 and 5. Like 5 would be like Boeing, right? They have a process down pat. It's like saying that they can build a car for $10,000, but the next car they build will be $9,500, right? It's optimized. They're able to do it, not only repeat it, but save money, time, material. So this deals with something called Six Sigma quality control and stuff like that. And so they're able to do that. So imagine able to do that with code and stuff like that. Here's the system security capability training model. The same thing is just focused on security. A lot of these models are the same, right? At least the high level parts are the same. And they add in sort of their, I guess you can say, their uniqueness about that particular ability. All right, these are just about requirements, functional requirements. In this course, when you build your database and your controls, you will have to do requirements. So here you have functional. Define, it says define the behavior of the IT product or system. Assurance, establish the confidence that the system that the security function will perform as intended. Example, SC3 security functional isolation. The information system isolates security functions from the non-security functions, and then functional, what you're doing. These systems shall do this. These systems shall do that. Like you will have, like remember the project, you have to have, there'll be requirements for separation of duties, right? You know, it'll say you need to have this requirement, separation of duties, roles and role responsibilities or whatever. And you'll say like this system shall only allow you know, a system administrator to do that. And then you have a test. Okay, how do you meet the requirement? Then you created a test plan, test document, going through testing to make sure the requirements met. So we'll go through that. It's quite a bit, but we'll go through that. These are just controls. We will actually deal with the controls that deal with databases, authentication, identification, stuff like that. But this is a high-level example of controls. And we are going to go to database and warehousing vulnerabilities. So we're just going to jump down. All right, perfect. Okay. So here it just says databases are developed to manage information from many sources in one location, eliminate the need for duplicate of information in the system. So it preserves storage space, prevent inconsistency in data by making changes to one particular location. So imagine you make a change elsewhere in the database and it's not shown in another location, and now you have an inconsistency, right? So that's what that's talking about. DBMS consists of hardware, software, and database used to manage the large sets of structured data. And there's multiple users and applications to access, view, and modify data. You can enforce restrictions, provides data integrity and redundancy, and then establishes procedures for data manipulation. There's different types of databases: hierarchical, network, relational, object-oriented. And then when you look here, it shows you have attributes, it shows rows. You can see here, traveler manifest table, the attributes, unique ID, last name, first name, port entry. And then I don't know where the unique ID is probably the primary key. Do we know about primary key, secondary key, foreign keys? Okay, won't go through all that. But yeah, so you can see here how the database is set up, right? And then here, of course, you have your primary key. It just guarantees that that particular item is unique. All right. So let's see. All right. So one of the items is ensuring the integrity of input data. So now the data that's going in, we have to make sure that that data, there's integrity with that data. So there's a number of things that can be done. One of the actual issues is like a overflow, right? So now you can do things that make sure that that particular entry only has like 7 characters. So a security number has 7 characters. You shouldn't accept special characters, stuff like that. So doing these types of things actually protects your database a bit more. So now you're like, okay, I'm going to specify exactly what can go in here. How many characters are going to make sure I don't have a buffer overflow. Make sure what I take in is not going to be able to cause any issues. Access control. This is basically ensuring that the authorized user, they're able to perform various techniques. So there's different types of access control. you have mandatory access control. And mandatory access control can be based off classification, right? Low, medium, high. This person has a medium clearance, so they can interact with objects in the database that are of medium security. Low, vice versa, right? So I have low, I shouldn't be able to interact with objects that are, objects that are much higher because I have a low clearance. Preventing deadlock, stalemate when two or more processes are waiting for the other to do something before they can proceed. I'm not going to go through that. All right. So I'm going to see. Okay. So what we're going to do, one of the things that we'll look at is called CWEs, right? So CWEs, they deal a lot with software, common weakness determinations, common vulnerabilities and exposures. That's a CVE. But these will tell you all the particular issues within code, right? Everything that you use will have an associated vulnerability. You can be the best programmer, but just because the language itself will have inherent vulnerabilities. And so you have to think about what is the best way to implement this application to get it up and running, right? Databases can be found in what? What apps may have databases? Or where can databases exist? You say where? Okay. What database would you have in TikTok? Users? What else? What else in TikTok? Okay. What did you give TikTok? Are you dancing in front of the camera or what?
The app is actually banned in our country.
TikTok is banned in India. Oh, since 2020. So what do you guys use to dance in front of the camera?
TikTok functions India, I mean, all over the world differently than the China. I mean, I have researched to the news that I get on the surface internet. All over the world, TikTok uses the entertainment purpose, but I want to use the education purpose of some other information and this. Is that how their algorithm works there?
Yeah, it's funny. So my postdoc, my research was cyber warfare. So information warfare is very real. And so what it is the ability to control minds and not have to do much, right? So if you realize a country has a strong military and you can't fight them head on, you fight them in other ways, right? That's what they always joke and say, all right, their kids will be dumber. We'll attack their kids. The next generation will be dumber, more trusting. Yes.
So actually, Instagram also does that. I mean, if you try to report influencers post, I tried that for several times. Instagram warned me that it will delete my account.
Really?
If I report again for the first time, for the promotional post, that could be any TikTok or dance or any model or someone was there. I mean, I was set up that post. I was reporting for the fourth time, and it warned me that it will delete my account. So even Instagram manipulates that.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting.
Not just time. I mean, it's the business. I mean, their business run on these influencers. So they will do anything for protecting them.
You should be an influencer then.
I'm better at it.
Did you say you were social? You said you were social, right?
Yeah, I mean,
They-
people coming around-
Social equals influencer.
I mean, I don't promote anything. I just anything.
Okay. I'll send out a video later, but there's a whole thing talking about active measures and what Russia does in terms of manipulating information and stuff like that. But yeah, that's why these databases have to be protected because they contain so much information. Like you may not think it's worthwhile, but someone else may see a wealth of information. Being in this class now, you're in a database, right? Obviously, everybody's in here, countries, right? Very, very, a lot of data you can get out of it, right? So like if I was a bad actor and I go in here like, okay, I'm looking at people from the class, like, there's someone here from Pakistan, right? And I'm like, oh, he's here on a Fulbright. What would I think? Somebody here on a Fulbright. Well, do we know what Fulbright is? So Fulbright is supposed to be one of the most world's prestigious scholarships available. Nobel Peace winners and stuff like that, right? And so he has to go back to Pakistan, more than likely you probably go work for the government or something, right? Yeah. So in 20 years, he might be the man. He might be, might be president. Maybe a lot of Fulbrights. The number of Fulbrights that become presidents and stuff like that really happen in government stuff. Very influential. So what Russians would do, they would follow a person's career, right? They're going to this school, they would end up going to this particular type of job. There is a public policy program in the DC Metro where a lot of people attend, and a lot of people end up working for like the CIA and stuff like that, or State Department. So they had people go there and, okay, you go marry this person and give the information. But having the database of the people who are taking this program, the class they're doing internships, much better. I don't need a census spy. I can track you via this, and I can identify these people early on, right? That information can be held for many years. I can see what regions are coming to study, right? So we got a lot of people here from various regions. It seems like everybody's from Mumbai, for a great deal. And there's these people from this region. They're studying this. This is something they're important in terms of trying to maybe people are caring about studying this, doing X, Y, and Z. This is if I'm trying to do business, say, all right, well, I'm going to go market this technology to this area because this is what seems like they may be lacking because people are leaving the country to go study this, right? This information turned to data can be extremely advantageous, and there's so many stuff. So we got TikTok, we got the dancing stuff. What other database are? What else?
2 years back, two darknet thing happened from India.
Okay.
India and Dominance. So these two applications were.
Say Domino's.
Yeah. Anyone who had ordered from the Domino's, you just enter the phone number, the address, where they are delivered. Anyway, in the office location, all the details for just you have to write the phone number. And also for the Air India bookings, anyone who has traveled via Air India. So this information was made online on the dark web by the hacker.
Oh wow. Is Domino's big in India?
No. I mean, it's surfaced on internet that this has happened. So
Oh, okay. I thought it was like Domino's in India. I was like, oh, I can imagine going to India and getting Domino's.
you need a different software to run those dark web. So it's not legal to open that.
Oh yeah, we're gonna run dark web here. Yeah. Okay.
If that information is still available, you can see.
Yeah. So running tours, it's fairly easy. Running tours easy. Doing activities on tour is easy, but you can do things so you're more protected. But yeah, running the tour is not hard. Tor is an onion router. It deals with it's 3 layers of encryption from going to different destinations. So it's like encryption, route with the more encryption, the more encryption. All right, so here's the CWE. And what we're going to do is I'm going to, all right, this is what I'm going to do. I want you guys to do some exploration. I'm going to share the website. So CWE. I'm going to give you the link. So you're going to go to the site. And those online, I'm going to share it as well. And what I want you to do, and you can work with your neighbor, I want you to go through here, look at a CWE related to a database. And the cool thing is you can say, let's ID lookup. Just type that. Comes up. Okay, you can see here, I typed in database, and now I can see all the CWEs with database, right? So what you're going to do, oh goodness, you are going to do just that. So we have time before we leave. So we'll spend about 25 minutes on about 20 minutes on this, and then we will resume and go around the classroom, and you will talk about what you found. All right. So you guys online do the same thing. and then I'm gonna resume after 20 minutes, and then we'll do this, and then we'll do follow-up, we'll do sort of like a summary chat, and then you guys will be able to leave. Enjoy the rest of this hot day. The participants online speak first. So tell me what you found and explain as it relates to database security. Tell me about your CWE.
I guess I'll start. So I found CWE 1284, which is improper validation of specified quantity and input. Basically, as far as database goes, if depending on the input, that's like if the input's not checked for quantity, that bad stuff can happen. For example, the example where someone was entering a quantity of items to be purchased on like a shopping app or something, and it checked for positive values but not negative, which allows someone to basically be credited money instead of taken away, like paying for it. So that's what I had so far. That's the one I picked after diving into a rabbit hole. So
All right, so one person online, give me one, and then we will finish up with the classroom. And the class ends at 9:05. However, if you want to, we'll do one here, we'll do one there, and then we'll wrap up. All right, so someone else online, or just I'll give you the count of 3 to go ahead and speak. 1, 2, 3. All right, someone in the classroom. Yes, go ahead.
CWE 732 for each connection sign up for critical resource. Basically what it is it seems like whoever created the processes is not getting the results in 20 days. That they have to create files, and basically what happens is when these files are created, either they adopt the default value for who they want to access them, either estimating they just adopt the same value as the user or the environment, so they feel they can, the cloud is just right at the home for everybody. So if a database has more users or has more references, we write something that everybody can potentially use or modify data.
Good one. That was interesting. I think they call them ghost accounts. Like these are accounts that no one uses. They're sitting there, and there's not a proper process in place to remove these accounts. So they just stay there. Like if the account is not used for like a week or maybe maybe 30 days, then it should be flagged and it should be removed, right? So these are things that need to be in place to be removed. All right. So we're gonna just stop with that because we're time for class. Does anybody have questions? Any serious questions?
I have a quick question. I don't know if it's serious, but are online students able to come in and participate in class as well?
Yeah,
right.
There's no seats. It's okay. Just my other class, like the seats are packed, but we even have someone who's not even in the class sitting here, so I think it's okay.
All right, dope. You might see me next week.
All right, I'll be wearing sandals though. I won't be looking as sharp as today. I'll be wearing sandals.
That's all good.
All right. All right, guys. You guys have a great weekend. Enjoy. And if you see me, do not be a stranger. And I will see you guys online.
All right, have a good night, Professor.
All right, cheers, bud.